What is up, guys? So in today's video I just felt inspired to really share my journey, share my transformation, my story on how the female gaze actually changed my life. Now this might sound absolutely absurd and completely out of pocket, but so basically this is going to be a story of how I was really struggling with attracting beautiful girls because I followed some advice online in some popular communities that we are going to be both very familiar with. And I just want to share how I overcame that struggle of being constantly rejected to now, attracting an abundance of beautiful girls. And the reason this is important is because as a man, I believe that you should have options, okay? You should know that you can attract a beautiful girl into your life, not so that you can be promiscuous, but so that you don't have to settle for a low quality girl. Because that's what I feel like so many guys do, is that they don't take care of themselves and they start getting ugly and they realize this and they go, damn, I better settle down real quick, just pick whatever girl gives them attention and just stick with her for the rest of their life. They don't even vet the girl. They don't even pick a high quality one. It seems to happen so many times, and I'm trying to avoid this from happening to more guys, okay? So here is my story of how the female gaze changed my life. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on screen right now. This is actually a post on Female Gaze Mastery, my Instagram account. And I'm just gonna go through the photos, the slideshow. It's basically like a recap of my story, but in today's video, I wanna go a bit more in depth, a bit more in detail, okay? So let's go back to the beginning, okay? So the first photo, by the way, I'm looking down at my laptop that has these photos on screen, okay? So the first photo is my very first, accountability photo, okay? You can see how skinny I was. If you zoom into my face, you can see the acne, okay? The acne was terrible at that point in my life. My health was, I didn't know how to health max, okay? I didn't know much about health or self-improvement. At this point in my life, man, I was very skinny. I was very underweight. I was about 5'9" or 5'10" here at 16 years old, and I was probably 50 kilos body weight, probably less to be honest, at that height. So I was very underweight. I was very unhealthy. I struggled with my confidence because obviously, take a look at what I'm seeing in the mirror. I just feel like I'm just not good enough. Okay, I feel ugly. I was also struggling with a lot of things in my life at this time period. I was struggling to fit in at the school that I had started to attend. I felt like an outcast, and that didn't really help me out with my confidence at all, and people just didn't like me for whatever reason. So I experienced very subtle just bullying, if that makes sense. So I was going through a lot of that, and I was going through a really tough time because not too long ago from this photo, I actually lost my father to suicide. So I was going through the depression. I was really struggling with grief and all that, and to cope with all that pain as well is that I had turned to addictions to help numb the pain, obviously, because I've got no father figure in my life at this point. So I don't know how to deal with this pain. Therapy, it wasn't really working well for me. I just felt like it was a big waste of time. So I would turn to things to distract me, keep me numb to the pain, because I was just scared of feeling that pain, right? It's a tough thing to go through, losing your father at such a young age. So yeah, I was struggling with addictions, like video games. I'd play excessive video games in my room, like my dark room, bro. I would barely go outside. And then going to school was terrible for me because obviously, like I said, I felt outcasted. It felt like no one wanted to talk to me or be my friend. Like people treated me like I had leprosy, bro. And so I had to deal with that as well. And it was a new school as well, so I was struggling to make friends. So obviously my confidence was so freaking low at this point in my life. And I would be turning to things like fapping, okay, to just numb the pain. Because when you fap to explicit content, it just overrides your dopamine receptors so much that it literally gives you short-term memory loss. You'll forget all the pain when fap to prawn. And it was really bad, man. So I just hated myself, bro. And what reinforced me hating myself was the fact that no one wanted to be my friend at that school. So that just didn't help at all. So I don't know how I discovered it, but I started watching motivational videos, okay? And this is what sparked my self-improvement journey. I started watching these motivational videos, man, because I felt like I was speaking directly to me, and I just had this inner drive just to fix my situation. I didn't want to stay this way. I was I was so depressed. I was like so near to like suicidal. I actually had a suicidal attempt. I was that depressed. I just hated my life, hated myself, and took my first photo. I'm like, we're gonna change this, okay? Okay, so here's me like 1 to 2 years later, okay? This is the photo that's went viral in my viral TikTok video, so I think a lot of you guys are gonna recognize this photo, but this was like 1 to 2 years later. What a freaking improvement, right? Like big changes, big improvements. My acne's like very much cleared up. Hairstyle looks a lot better. I'm dressing better. You know, I've already actually achieved the female gaze aesthetic here for like a 17 and 18-year-old high schooler. Like this is like immaculate. This is perfect. This is exactly what you want. If you know, this is a perfect example of the female gaze if you're in high school. So at this point in my life, I'd made so much progress in terms of self-improvement, okay? Like it was just the profound difference was just insane so quickly. And I went from being like really struggling to attract beautiful girls to now like I was just attracting them. Like girls were approaching me at this point in my life. But I wasn't so like interested in girls at that point. I don't know what was going on. I just really wasn't interested in girls, even though I could attract them now. The thing is that because I made so much improvements in such a short amount of time, in just like 1 to 2 years, I was so eager to like learn more. I just wanted to know like, okay, well, if I can do this much in this period of time, how much more can I do? What else am I just like not focusing on right now? After seeing my own personal results, you know, I took it one step further. And this is where I started to do like research into like female nature and stuff, okay? Like it sounds so cringe looking back on it, but you know, I wanted to make sure like I understood like female nature and stuff in quotation marks, just so that I could be the best like man for my like for the girl that I commit to. Like I want to understand her as much as I can. So it was like good intentions. But this ended up with me stumbling into like black pill communities and red pill communities. And this is where things took a big turn for the worse, okay? So as you can see in this photo here, okay, astronomical downgrade, bro. This was literally, I'm 20 years old here, so it's like pretty much the same time period from me glowing up to glowing down, okay? 20 years old. And I look like a 40-year-old ex-convict who was divorced twice and has a crippling alcoholic addiction. This is what I look like. I don't look attractive at all. And the scariest thing to me was I didn't understand why I didn't look attractive at that point in my life. I had no idea, man. And the reason I ended up looking like this, a lot of people don't understand like how do you glow down so bad? Like what type of self-improvement were you doing? So to explain what happened, okay, as I said earlier, I lost my father to suicide. So I grew up basically fatherless throughout my teen years and onwards. I just grew up fatherless, no masculine role model. So I was extremely insecure about my masculinity. And I think a lot of guys can actually relate to this, whether they want to admit it or not. There's a lot of fatherlessness going on in this world, and so many young guys they're just being misled by all these like masculine influences who are just leading them completely astray from what they actually should be doing. So I followed the red pill, and basically, from what I understood, bro, I literally have the Rational Male trilogy. I studied that. I was highlighting that. I studied that more than I studied in school, bro. It's insane. So I know what the red pill is from the literal textbooks, okay? And basically, if I could summarize it, is that the red pill will teach young men that status is everything, okay? And they're gonna teach you to be promiscuous as well, which is just it's not healthy to be promiscuous. That's gonna leave you empty, okay? You'll never be satisfied if you're gonna be promiscuous. So basically, I understood that, okay, so I need status. And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, the men in the world with the most status, they all have a look to them. They all look very like hyper masculine, right? So I understood this, and I'm like, okay, well, how can I make myself appear as hyper masculine as possible? Because the more hyper masculine you appear, the more status you appear to have as a man, the more default respect you get from people. And that's what I was craving in my life. I felt like I was being treated like a little boy in my life, and I hated it. I hated the disrespect I was getting from people because, you know, everyone just treated me like I was a little child. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to change this. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, the most hyper masculine look, it's got to be a buzz cut and a big Viking beard, right? And I got to pack on some size as well. So my body fat increased, and I grew out the beard, got the buzz cut, and it worked, bro. I was getting freaking respect from everyone. If I walk down the street, men twice my age used to never like move out of my way when like crossing paths, but now that I look like this, they moved out of my way. Men twice my age. That's crazy, bro. I was enjoying it. My ego was getting stroked, man. Like I was getting so egotistical about like being like, yeah, hyper masculine man. You know, there's nothing wrong with masculinity, but when you're this insecure like I was, you know, you're just gonna take it too far. Okay, so I had the status that the red pill was talking about, like on surface. I had more money than I ever had in my life. I was more jacked. I had more mass on my frame than I ever had in my entire life. I was the most masculine looking version of me. My inequalities, I used to be very effeminate, but you know, I've been conquering these addictions. So I have improved so much internally that you won't be able to see because it's internal, right? So I'm the most masculine version of me at this point in my life that I've ever been. I was getting all the respect in the world, but guess what? Girls constantly rejected me. Left, right, and center, bro. It got so bad. It was like for like at least a year straight, every girl that I approached, like, you know, I was the type of guy to go out of my way to actually do the cold approach. I would never just sit there and fantasize about cold approach. No, I went out and cold approach, bro. I had the freaking balls to do that, okay? I'm not trying to boast here, but most guys just fantasize about, they mentally masturbate about cold approaching. I've literally done that. And I can say that if you want to apply the red pill, bro, you want to look hyper masculine, 99.9% of girls are going to reject you. Okay, that's just how it works, because I'll tell you why. High quality girls are not going to want to date a guy that looks as old as their father. Okay, simple as that. Unless you want a girl that has daddy issues and have a toxic relationship, that's on you, bro. But that's just not healthy. I don't think that's what we should strive for as men. So I was getting constantly rejected. I've made content about this before. Like I got so frustrated that I was like, how is like self-improved me? Like I'm literally a better version of me. I just downgraded my looks. How am I getting constantly rejected? But you know, the pre self-improved me, right? That just basically improved his looks. How is he getting better results than self-improved me was, right? I was just mind blown. I was getting so frustrated, and I was like, all right, I've been invited to like go out on the town with some people, so I'm all right, I'll go with, because I wanted to go and see if I could at least get a girl's Instagram from a club. Okay, I barely ever cold approach at a club because that's, you know, everyone's like drunk, everything. You're not gonna really meet the real person, right? You don't know what they're like when they're sober. So I was like, this should be the easiest way, because the clubs are the easiest way to get a freaking Instagram, because everyone's got alcohol in them, everyone's having a good time. So I was like, all right, I just want to get an Instagram, okay? I don't want to take it any further than that. I just want to prove to myself that I can get a girl's Instagram, because obviously I've done so much cold approaching that I've had success from cold approaching in the past, man. So this should be a breeze. Well, guess what? I got rejected 8 times in one night at that club, in a freaking row. In one night, 8 times, bro. That just, yeah, after that, like the following morning, I was just sitting there like hungover, and I'm just like, I don't understand. I didn't understand. So the red pill is BS. Like the status thing is BS. The only thing that's true about it is you're gonna get respect, but you're not gonna attract high quality girls. And if you're a young man, I was 20 years old in this photo. You don't need to be trying to act like a 40-year-old man with like multiple successful businesses. You don't need to, bro. The thing is, what I want you guys to understand about the female gaze is maximize your youth. Stop listening to these red pill masculinity like maxes or whatever. I don't know how to put this into words, but like if you're a young man, maximize your youth. You're gonna get better results, okay? So let's go on to the next photo, okay? Here we can see I've lost the beard, okay? What's going on here? This was me a year later, okay? I had recently heard about the female gaze, okay? And at first, you know, I still had a bit of that red pill like mindset in my head, still like lingering around. I heard about the female gaze. I'm like, what the hell is that, bro? My immediate like assumptions was, okay, so the female gaze, so this is what the TikTok e-boys do, right? You know, like paint the nails, wear 3 necklaces, wear 7 rings on their fingers, freaking, some of them even put a bit of makeup on and stuff. I'm like, hell no, bro, I'm not gonna do all that to me. But then I was like, you know what, maybe there's something that we can learn from this. I'll keep an open mind. I'm always trying to learn new things, right? So I started to look a bit deeper, and I realized it's not those assumptions. I kept an open mind, and I realized, okay, well, the female gaze is simply what appeals to girls, what girls actually find appealing. And I had to understand that what guys find appealing is completely different to what girls find appealing. Like I used to think like gym pics, me flexing and stuff, you know, me growing a big beard, you know, things like that would be appealing to girls because like, oh, they want a masculine guy, I want a feminine girl. Feminine girls want a masculine guy, so that makes sense, right? Let's just post masculine stuff. That's what they're gonna want. It doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't work that way. So I started to learn like about what actually appeals to the girls that I wanted to attract, right? And so I started to understand, okay, well, I got to improve my style. Okay, I started learning about like the old money aesthetic. Like you can see, it's starting to work here. You can see this is like the first time I ever wore a polo shirt, and today I'm wearing polo shirts, right? You can see I'm starting to grow the hair out again. You can see I trimmed down the beard significantly. But I was at this point I was still like unsure about it. I didn't want to fully commit to like being clean shaven. You don't have to be clean shaven for the female gaze, but you know, I was like very like on the fence about it. You know, I starting to grow out the hair. It's still a bit of a masculine haircut. I didn't really understand like face shapes, which is why like look how long my head looks, bro. That's so disproportionate, the haircut I had there compared to right now. Okay, so yeah, like I'm learning about style, you know, and all that. I'm starting to pick up on the female gaze. And the crazy thing is, me looking like that, just starting to apply it within the first month, I had my first real girlfriend. I attracted her. And I was like, there is no freaking way. I just went through like a year of constant rejection. All I had to do was just change my style and my appearance, just improve my appearance. And that was it, man. This entire time, I was like, what the hell, bro? So it worked in a freaking month. And I was like, there is no freaking way. And then obviously as time went on, bro, I ended up now look like this. This was me. This was September. And right now it's February. So this is not even 6 months ago. This is what I was looking like. This is when I was in Thailand. You can see I've transitioned to longer hairstyle, got the mid part going, clean shaven at this point. I learned how to actually dress good. I learned about like the old money aesthetic and like how good it is. You can see like I'm dressed up real good. Got the belt, the watch. They got the nice tan. My skin is looking as clear as it's ever been. Hair's looking good. I just look clean. I'm starting to really understand this female gaze thing. And at this point in my life, like going from constant rejection to now girls are like turning their head at me, bro, in public. Like girls admiring. I catch them admiring left, right, and center. And like this is a stark difference, man. And so like I'm like, wow, this female gaze thing is like actually real. It actually freaking works, you know. Like I'm still me internally, bro. Like obviously I am improving internally as well, but for the most part I'm still me. I still got the same personality, the same sense of humor, you know. I'm still like fundamentally me. The only thing that's different is I've changed my looks. I've literally aged backwards here, bro. It's insane. Fixed my acne, fixed my hairstyle, and you know, I made significant improvements in my style and I've lowered my body fat percentage, obviously, so I'm looking a lot better, okay? And so this is the most recent photo that I have of today, photo number 6 over here. And yeah, man, as you can see, like I transitioned to a messy fringe. Today, over the past week, I got a perm, and I'm still learning how to style this thing, but today it's extremely frizzy. This is the frizziest it's ever been. So I'm still learning about the perm. But yeah, I think the perm has been a great decision to do. So yeah, this is what I look like freaking today. Okay, this photo was taken very recently. This cafe photo, and as you can see, the style significant improvement still. My face is freaking clear, no acne. I'm much more confident version of me. And yeah, so I realized as well that like during this like transformation, I realized there's barely any like content online in terms of specifically the female gaze. Like I searched up female gaze, like how to apply it. There was no designated account on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. There was just a few random videos made a couple years ago. And I'm like, well, you know what? I've actually learned so much through my own, you know, experimentation, my own like research and all that. Like I've had to learn all this the hard way, man. And as you can see, it freaking works. From a guy, like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying new things and I figured it out. I solved the Rubik's Cube. So if it can work for me, man, if I can go from looking like a 40-year-old ex-convict to who I look like today, as you can see on screen, bro, if I can do it, man, you can do it too, okay? And this hasn't only worked for me. This has worked for multiple guys who have been in contact with me, who I've helped out as well. So if you would like to start your journey, if you would like to learn how to apply the female gaze, then all you have to do is head over to my Instagram account and DM me the word attract, and we can get started. The link will be in the pinned comment down below. And with all being said, man, I hope this inspires you. It's not over. Personally, I'm still improving. I haven't even maxed out my looks yet either. I've still got improvements to do. My teeth, I'm gonna get braces eventually and get that fixed up. I'm gonna document that, so that's gonna be really cool to watch as well. I'm also in the process of a bulk right now, so I don't have the definition in my face like I used to. So just wait for the cut, man. The cut's gonna be insane, okay? And yeah, with all being said, man, there is hope. You can change. If I can do it, man, I already know everything that you gotta do. So just reach out to me on Instagram, bro. DM me the word attract, and I'll see you over there. Peace.